Every day, we carry invisible responsibilities, family needs, financial pressures, and uncertainties. The weight of controlling every outcome creates an immense, exhausting pressure. Following God does not remove these daily realities, but it changes how we are expected to carry them. We were never intended to live as though everything depended entirely on our own limited strength. Over the next few minutes, we are going to build a responsibility matrix. This tool will help you identify which parts of your burden belong to you and which parts you were meant to hand over to God. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. As you do, hold one specific worry in your mind, the one that feels the heaviest today. At the top of your page, write this foundational truth: I am finite, God is not. Human anxiety often begins when we forget our limitations. We act as though we must solve every problem and prepare for every possibility, but the Bible consistently reminds us that we have limits, while God is limitless. Look at these lines of ancient Hebrew script. Psalm 103:14 says that God remembers that we are dust. He understands your physical limitations and your mental fatigue because He created you. He calls us to faithfulness, not to omnipotence. Directly below that first phrase, write down your specific source of anxiety. Name the family situation, the financial hurdle, or the unanswered prayer. 1 Peter 5:7 commands us to cast our anxiety on God. This word implies a physical handoff. To throw a burden onto Him, you must first explicitly identify it and pick it up. Admitting your inherent limits and naming your fear is the necessary first step to release it. Now, draw a vertical line down the middle of your paper to create two columns. Label the left column, What has God asked me to do today? Label the right column, What belongs to God alone? On the left, list your active responsibilities: working diligently, praying faithfully, and making the best decisions you can with the wisdom you have right now. On the right, list everything that only God can do: changing someone's heart, opening a closed door, and directing the final path of your future. The Apostle Paul illustrated this division of labor when he wrote about his own ministry. He explained that one person plants and another waters, but God is the one who makes it grow. Like the farmer in this field, your responsibility is the physical act of scattering the seed. This represents your active daily obedience. Your responsibility also includes watering the seed, which requires the consistent effort of digging trenches and showing up for the work today. This separation of labor clarifies where your work ends and where God's power begins. It ensures you only carry the weight of the tasks God has actually assigned to you. Circle the items in your left column. This is your immediate, actionable plan for the day. Biblical trust is active, not passive. Noah built the physical ark, and David had to face Goliath. Each obeyed God wholeheartedly while depending on Him for the outcome. Now, cross out the entire right column. This symbolizes the moment you stop carrying responsibilities that belong only to God. We can trust God with daily anxieties because He has already carried our greatest burden, sin. Look at the texture of this cross. Jesus bore the punishment that brought us peace, so that we wouldn't have to. Since Christ proved He can handle the weight of our eternal future, we can safely trust Him with these lesser, daily pressures. This is the logic behind Jesus' invitation to the weary in the Gospel of Matthew. He asks us to take His yoke upon us and learn from Him. A yoke joins two subjects together for shared work. This visual metaphor describes a life where you are no longer pulling the weight in isolation. You are walking in step with Jesus. Your part of the burden becomes lighter, specifically because you are no longer carrying it alone. Look at your paper. You now have a clear, biblical division of labor for the anxiety you identified earlier. This matrix shifts your internal confidence away from your own limited ability and onto God's limitless faithfulness. Having God does not remove every challenge from your life, but it changes who carries the heaviest part of the load. When you surrender what is beyond your strength, life becomes lighter. Use this matrix every day. Pray honestly, work faithfully, and rest confidently.